Thanks for the thumbs up. I appreciate the support. How is everybody doing? Hope everybody's having a safe and happy day. TGIS, thank God it's Saturday and it's Sherry. Thank you all for joining. Hey Dana, hey Lori. So glad you guys could make it. Hey Laura, hola, ¿cómo estás? Amiga. That's all I know for that. So I hope everybody's had a good week, safe week. Pretty attractive for an older lady. Well, thank you. Older and wiser. That's what I like to say. Hey, Lori. How are ya? Hey, Blackburn. Blackburn. Watching while you ride the stationary bike at the gym. Very cool. It's a great way to pass time, actually. So many. Yeah. So many L names, eh? Hello, Too Crazy Alex. You made it. ¿Cómo estás? Yes, exactly. Well, I hope everybody's 2019 is going fairly well for them. In my opinion, it is what you make of it, right? Nobody's going to come around and necessarily help you out or send you in the right direction or give you a big fat, bouquet of money and whatever. So might as well take control of what you can and do what you can in order to make sure your situation is all right. I encourage each and every one of you. Your name rhymes with banana. It's Dana. Dana. Sorry. I always said Dana. This is my French for crying out loud. Well, thank you, Dana. I will say that correctly. I'm so bad with names. Gonna sit here and do your nails. Very cool. Very, very cool. So I had a story here that I really wanted to share with you. Well, there's a couple of them actually, some recent shows that I was watching, and I just found them absolutely flooring. Some of the stories that are out there. Muy bien, Lori. Tu. Tu in French means you, same as Spanish. Had a blizzard here, snow bad in New Mexico. This don't happen. Well, get used to global warming because lately in Canada, it's been so mild. Everything is melting. It feels like it's springtime. And then there's places that are having like crazy 6-foot snow drifts and climbing themselves out of their doors like I used to when I was a kid. Now we don't get anything like that though. So can't really complain, even though we all still do. It's just in the nature of our, our weather. It changes and we're like, I hate it when it's too cold. And then it gets all hot and we're like, I hate it when it's all hot. No pleasing us, we're always complaining. All right. So one of the shows that I was watching was about Janae Aragosa. Now, she was in Manhattan and she was actually attending the Fashion Institute of Technology. She wanted to be a belt and handbag designer. Really, really nice girl. She worked with a bunch of really cool people. They all decided to kind of go out one night, and that's where she had met Trevor Frederick. She saw him as he was a bartender there, and, they were all sitting around having some drinks and laughs and just a good time out. And she bet with her friends that she'd be able to go and get his phone number. And so she said if she could, every one of them had to pay her $20. So she goes up to get another round of drinks for everybody. And of course, she, the vibe was there that they were really digging each other. And, he says, you should give me your number. And she says, better yet, you should give me yours. And so he writes down his phone number and they all see him doing it. So she comes back to the table, of course, with the pitcher of beer and, the phone number. And of course was like, pay up, folks. Like, I just, I just got that guy's number. I told you guys I was going to get that guy's number. Pay up. So $20 from all of her friends. She also gets a really cute guy's phone number. Things seem to be going fairly well. However, it really wasn't too long into the, relationship that she started to notice a lot of jealousy. He didn't want her to go out without him. He didn't want her to go out to the bars. If they were going to go to a bar to have drinks, he worked at a bar. So it was like, just come here. There's no point in you going anywhere else. And it got to the point where, he was trying to seclude her even just away from her friends so that she was never going out without him. And it really wasn't that far in that he ended up like threatening her. He was being very domineering and controlling, and he was very angry. He just got right up in her face and, grabbed her arm and shook her. These would have been warning signs for her. Now, like a lot of us women that get involved in some of these crazy scenarios with people, we tend to make excuses for things like that. But let's really try to look at it for what it is. If a guy's getting jealous about you having other friends, even if the people are, like, because one of her friends was gay and he had a problem with the guy, it's just like, seriously, the guy isn't even into women, So be careful, ladies, when you're out with people and you catch those jealous vibes. That is sort of a red flag warning sign of things could get way worse with that person if you proceed with that person, So regardless, that is kind of what happened in this situation. But, we can't, you can't look down at that, because even myself have been through it. And, I recognize now the warning signs. However, at the time I didn't really. And I found myself making those kind of excuses and things like that. So let's, use those warning signs and red flags and take those precautions, appropriately. So Janae started making excuses to her friends about him, about, he was just really concerned, or he was, he's a little bit jealous, he really loves me, or he really cares about me. And, this sort of carried on for quite some time. They ended up being together on and off for about a year. So she decides, that she needs some protection from this guy. She wants to kind of, get away from this Trevor Frederick. He wasn't really a good character for her. He had hit her, and, she had tried to kick him out, and like he got really threatening. He got in her face and said like he was never leaving. This was like, basically, you're my girl now and I'm never leaving. You're never going to get rid of me. If I go down, you're coming with me, and the whole nine, right? So she goes to the police to get a protection order to prevent him from sort of coming near her work, coming near her home, stalking her, bothering her. But for those of you that have ever been through the judicial system with those kinds of protection orders, they don't usually do much, to be honest with you. And in a deadly situation, they're really not going to be very helpful at all. You honestly, you end up having more trouble by trying to reinforce something like that a lot of times, and maybe he goes to jail for a night or two, but he'll get out, and, it could be deadly. So regardless, she goes to get a protection order. She lets her landlord know, he's not supposed to be coming into the building. He's not allowed on the property. Here's a copy of the protection order, and blah, blah, blah. She comes home one day after being out with some friends and finds the Trevor Frederick sitting in the freaking lobby of the apartment building. And she was just like, what are you doing here, kind of thing, freaked out. And he tells her that he's rented a freaking room in the building. Now he's living there. And so he'll be around a lot more, and she better get used to it. And she tries to call 911, and he basically says, I'll catch you slipping. I'll catch you alone one day. You're, whatever. You might be safe now, but you're not going to be safe forever, type of thing. So I'm just going to pause on that note to just check out a few of the comments on this story so far. Somebody said you had heard this story. Pretty intense, though, in my opinion. When a guy starts acting like that, those are signs to definitely get away. Mother Nature, one crazy acting abroad. Hi, Judy. Hey, Cheryl. Yeah, jealousy can be pretty deadly. It can end up pretty deadly, is what I'm trying to mean, eh? You want some tea, clearly, Danny? I have mint green tea. I really enjoy that one. Okay, so, this whole situation, of course, is bringing Janae down. Everything about it is depressing her. She's no longer herself. She doesn't feel safe at home. He's banging on the door to try to get in. She's, having panic attacks because, he's riled her so much. She doesn't even feel safe in her own home. So, I mean, eventually all of her friends start to notice this and they're just like, you're not okay. You're not yourself anymore. And so they try to cheer her up. They're like, let's just go out. Let's just forget about this. Let's just go out. Let's have a good time. And so they go out as friends and, everything seems great and fine. She ends up meeting a new guy named Christopher Mariconi. I think that's how you say it. Mariconi? Maybe the C is silent. Mariconi. We're going to say it like that. Wonderful gentleman. I do want to share with you guys a little bit of sort of a memorial tribute that was sort of done in his name, of course, by his family. Christopher Mariconi, he was born in Lawrence, New York. He was an amazing person. He was a New Yorker. He was the type of guy that he was very loyal and honest and respectful. He had a heart of gold. And I mean, if he offended anybody, or he would be the first to apologize. He was just a really good all around type of guy. Him and his girlfriend were on a break. Her name was Danielle, and he had decided to go out Saturdays because this all had gone down November 1st, 2003. And so this was when he had met, Janae, and sort of, they really hit it off. They got along and they decided that they wanted to get together another time. And so they exchanged information and, they had made some plans to sort of see each other on November 6th, 2003. And, the tragedy happened that very night. So, but we'll get to that, basically, Christopher was a really, really good all around guy. He was a student at Manhattan. He really enjoyed spending time with Janae. They got along, even though, he was dealing, with a relationship. He hit it off very well with Janae. And, they had decided to go out, play some pool and have a few drinks and laugh and talk. And that went very well. However, he had left his Walkman at her place. Otherwise, he would have just went kind of straight home. But he decided to go back to her place to grab his Walkman. They ended up hanging out there for quite some time. And then when he had went to leave was when all hell broke loose. Trevor Frederick was on the other side of the door and pushes his way into the apartment. And he's yelling like, "You're with my girl, and what are you doing with my girl?" And like he's freaking out on this guy, and the guy's trying to, Christopher's trying to tell Trevor like, "Listen, we just met, nothing happened, we're just friends." And Trevor is freaking out. He can't control himself. He's that angry about everything because of his jealousy and his anger. He ends up stabbing Janae in the neck, and he severed part of her spine. So she ended up laying on the ground, paralyzed. And then, of course, Christopher's freaking out, like, "Look what you did to her. I can't believe what you just did to her." And I mean, Trevor starts freaking out and says, like, "You made me do this," kind of thing. And ends up, pushing him. Christopher wants to escape the situation. I mean, he's just like, holy shit, this is about to go way crazy south. So he starts to open up what I guess what he thought might have been a doorway, what ended up being like a mini balcony, and all it is the street. And doesn't Trevor allegedly, and I mean I believe that he did, I believe he pushed him over there. I believe he was that angry that this guy was spending time with his girl, even though it wasn't his girl. Janae was not his girl anymore. He was so psychotically enraged. He was upset at this guy for being with her. And, he went and stabbed him and then pushed him over the edge. And this was on the 5th floor, you guys. So, I mean, when he hit the ground, he bled out. And unfortunately, he died that night there, just trying to save Janae. Now, of course, the neighbor hears all this commotion going on. It doesn't know what the hell's happened, but I guess she has an inkling to go and check on Janae. And she goes over to the door and she peeks in and she sees Janae laying on the floor. And of course, remember when he sliced her neck, he sliced part of it and paralyzed her. So she couldn't move. So she's laying there in her own blood and her neck is sliced. And I mean, the neighbor's like on the phone trying to call for help and doesn't realize that Trevor is literally standing behind her. Excuse me. Sorry, you guys. Hey, Donna, good to see you. So the neighbor doesn't realize that Trevor is literally standing behind her, and Janae knows, like, she can see what's happening. She just can't really scream or like talk, like, so she's can't really advise her friend that Trevor's still standing there. But she basically, is on the phone calling 911 and turns around and sees him and tells him, like, you better go. You better get out of here. Like now, leave. So he leaves. And of course the ambulance shows up, puts her on the stretcher and takes her downstairs. And there she, of course, sees Trevor Frederick outside and she's pointing like that's the guy kind of thing. And so the ambulance folk understood what she was trying to relay and told the officers there, like, get him. And so like they arrested him right then and there, of course, thank goodness. April 11th, 2005, he ended up being sentenced 30 years plus 15 for the death of Anthony, 30 years for the attempted murder of Janae, and then 15 years for Anthony's murder. Absolutely floored by all of this. He, by all accounts, was a really, really good person, this Christopher Marconi. And, Janae and him were just sort of kicking things off, and like they hadn't even, done anything sexual or anything together. And, Trevor Frederick was already supposed to be out of the picture, and doesn't his jealousy get the best of him, and he ends up sort of trying to take her life and taking the life of her new boyfriend, tragic story, but thank God he's never going to see the light of day. I mean, while he might see the light of day, I'd have to look up exactly when he might be able to be out, but I'm pretty sure the judge is going to try to keep his ass locked up after something like that. Holy cow. Crazy. He pushed him out. I totally think he pushed him out, I think because, Christopher saw that was like a dead zone. Like, he shouldn't have opened up that door kind of thing, but it was too late and he couldn't go the other way because Trevor was there. And I totally think that there was a struggle and he pushed him over, Excuse me. Look what you made me do. Unstoppable people say that. I mean, absolutely crazy. I think crazy people say that. Like, come on. Hey, Donna Heflin, how are ya? Hey, Deborah, hola. They should make a movie out of this. Yeah, that would be a pretty crazy and interesting, good movie for sure. I don't know why you would say something like that, Keto-Bismol, but we're not racist here, so we're just going to put you away. Sorry about that, Deborah, if you saw that. Yeah, I'm sorry, Laura. Don't, hopefully she didn't see it. Hopefully she wasn't even looking, you know? Hey, Sheila. Well, thank you. I'm just wearing, um, actually, it's one of my favorite Lulu sweaters. It's so comfy and flowy. And then my just dress pants, you know? Hey, Robbie. Yeah, I'm sorry, Deborah. Don't take that personally, hun. I guess my mods are busy tonight, so I'm on it, all right? That wasn't very nice at all, and I don't tolerate that, so I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah, don't pay attention. You love my outfit and style? Oh, thank you. That's very sweet of you. Thank you. There are some mugs left. Yes. I really like my mug too because it's a big one. It's the 15 ounce, you know? Thank you, Daisy Sushine. You're so sweet. All of you guys are so sweet. I just love you guys. Crazy people do say, look what you made me do. Yeah, like, come on. Sheesh. Look what you did, you know? I mean, never mind, look what someone else made you do. You have thick skin. Good for you, honey. Me too. Not a whole lot of crap that could bother me, to be honest. I'm not too shy anymore, and I don't have trouble standing up for myself like I did when I was bullied as a kid. Some of you guys remember that story. Taylor Swift is definitely crazy. Oh, who knows? Honestly, who knows? How do you get the link to the merch store? Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can be like super tech today. I want. It's probably not going to highlight. You know that, right? So what'll happen is I will send it in what I think is highlight, and you guys will have to copy and paste it because I'm not that tech savvy. See, I knew it. Oh no, it is. It's underlined. Woohoo! Look at that. So you can at least click it. It is in my About tab too. That's true. Chris Watts said his wife made him kill her too. Yeah. Yeah, right. Right. Hey, chef. How are ya? We've only been on for like 20 minutes. I did a late show tonight. I wanted to see how many viewers we could pack in here. Oh, I'm so glad to have you too, Deborah. Chef, you did miss the story that I told about Janae Aragosa. You've been missing me on the lives? Well, the holidays and stuff. Don't be too hard on yourself. I'm sure you had, lots to do with family and stuff like that. So don't be too harsh on yourself. Chef Betsy, did you end up getting rid of those salmons and the extra food that you had made that you said you were looking for people to get rid of that too? Oh, the Janae Aragosa story. Crazy story. I could probably run through it fairly kind of quickly for you. Hey Sarah, how are you, hon? Mwah. So Janae Aragosa in Manhattan, she had met a gentleman named Trevor Frederick. He was a bartender. Happy Saturday. And she thought he was a good guy, but he quickly ended up showing her quite a bit of jealousy and controlling and some abusive traits physically as well as emotionally and mentally. And they had been together on and off for about a year, but she had decided, she really wanted to break things off with him. She didn't like him. Thanks, Lori. You're so great, hon. She didn't really like him anymore, all of the controllingness. She went to get a restraining order, protection order, sort of prevent him from coming too close. He ended up moving into her building, regardless that the one landlord knew that he wasn't supposed to be around. he contacted another one and ended up getting in that way. And like, oh, I mean, I'm sure those kinds of things are ironed out nowadays because this was back in like 2002. But it was a crazy story because once she tried to separate from his jealous ass, he ended up going crazy over it. And she had met a new guy, went to hang out with him. And even though nothing actually happened with him, like they weren't sleeping together or anything, um, Trevor caught the new guy coming out of her place, and he went psycho. And of course, he stabbed both of them. He stabbed her in the neck, actually severing her spinal cord. So she was paralyzed, partially paralyzed on the floor. And then he stabbed the guy in the arm, and like they had a struggle, and he pushed him off a balcony 5 feet off, 5 floors off the ground, and killed him. And so, of course, now he's in jail. But crazy that that kind of personality traits can lead to that kind of deadliness. We must really be careful these days, in my opinion. You just, you got to watch for the small signs in order to be weary on the big signs, right? Aaron Nathaniel, I'm sorry that you feel suicidal. I think there's a suicide hotline. Let me see if I can find you. I know there's a suicide text thing too, where someone will actually text you back. But let me just see if I can get some numbers. What country are you in? You live in Turkey? Okay. I hear life is very difficult down there right now. I'm sorry for that. I'm looking up a number for you right now. So there's a 1-800 number because that would be free. I'm going to just highlight this. And put it here for you. But I'm sorry that you're feeling that way. I know that there's a lot of really, really difficult things going on down in those areas, but don't do anything to hurt yourself, okay? No, try the 1-800 number that I put up for you. Because you know what? You might feel that might be helpful for you, but there's so many people that would be affected, that would be hurt. So let's just be positive, right? I mean, if you're just seeing if I care, well, I do care. And if you're just a troll trying to see what I would respond, well, there you go. There's a fast heart for you. Like, there's a 1-800 number for you to call in your area right there. So, no, I don't want to date things. You hear about the kind of thing happening more and more. Yeah. Playing both sides, the upcoming clash, and fueling fires, the war. Yeah. Yeah, there's been a lot. I was watching a documentary on the ISIS, actually, the guys that work out there trying to protect some of those people, like, and some of those guys haven't even told their own families where they are and what they're doing, But amazing men for sure. I believe that those are amazing men that are out there. I mean, it's sad what they got to do, but I mean, if they don't do it, then everything's going to get taken over, and it won't be good, right? So yes, I know, Deborah. It's okay. Whatever, test passed, check. That's how I see that. What's that I got on here after you just told happened? Nothing good comes from jealousy. Absolutely not. Anybody that's controlling, jealous, angry, those are some bad combos, Laura, my emotions are always real, and if somebody's maybe even just joking about that, and there might even be someone else in our group right now that is struggling with suicide, I don't know, that might help, it might show the compassion that they are comfort. They can, talk themselves here. They can, be comfortable enough to, you know, expose that, I guess. Yeah, yeah, I hear you, girl chef. I did it once too when I was a teenager, mostly for the attention. I just wanted, was really wanting love, and I didn't understand what was happening with my family life. And for those of you that heard some of those stories and stuff around Christmas time, you know, life can be hard, but you know what? It's better to push your way through it and carry on, try to be happy. For sure, one thing I learned is that no one is going to make you happy in this world. And that took me a long time to grasp. I thought other people should be in control of my happiness and help me smile and laugh and stuff like that. But I think that's part of not really knowing who you are, and to know who you are is to know what makes you happy and what makes you laugh. And um, focusing on doing those kinds of things is a healthy alley. I would have done what you did. A caring heart. Yeah, you know what? Whether the person was joking or not, I think that that's a serious thing, and wouldn't want to ignore it or laugh it off or, who knows? Even if they are a troll and that, maybe they are seriously going through something like that. Who knows? You know? You're still trying to learn what? Arish Eritrea? Kindness is always the best way to go. Never know. Yeah, yes, that's true. Yeah. Dan Peters playing catch up, but my connection is slow. Okay. Hmm. We have a government person in here. I don't know who the heck that person is. Sorry about that. You're gonna have to you'll feel better when you get up. That's your motto. Well, naps can help, right? Sleep can help, but it could be a number of things. And not getting outside enough can, maybe be a little bit depressing. I know for me lately it's been a little difficult. But no one's more in control of your happiness more so than you. So you got paid for the food. Yay! That's awesome. This I did boot him. Which one? Is there another one? Naps are great. I agree, Sarah. Happiness comes from within. He cooked well with the suicide troll. Been real. It could have been real, right, Jane? That's how I see it. I'm like, I don't know if this person is lying or if they're serious. So I might as well just respond, like, thank you, mod. Is one of my mods here? Because it was me. I just deleted him. I was just like, forget it. Yeah, I don't know if any of my mods are here. But yeah, I thought that was really crazy. Yeah, no, I did. I booted him. I thought that story about Janae was really crazy, and to listen to her have to deal with the trauma of that afterwards. She couldn't continue on with, learning how to be a belt and handbag designer at the Fashion Institute of Technology. Of course, she had to drop out of that to heal, you know? And of course, because she was paralyzed, you know, like she still has numbing and tingling in one of her arms and one of her legs. So she may not never get to, you know, do the dream that she had begun doing when she met this deadly guy, Trevor Frederick. No problem, Deborah. Sovereign, you are free to express yourself here. It's fine. I just might not, you know, be reading it all and stuff because I choose not to focus on those kinds of issues on my channel, you know. But it is definitely a huge issue, and it's current, and it is going on now, and it's scary, and you know, we never know when that could be us sort of dealing with things like that. So I think, you know, we have to pray for these kinds of situations and people, in my opinion, and hope that there's safety and food and shelter and care out there for them, you know. No, as I said, Sovereign, you can express yourself. I just probably won't necessarily focus on it because because of the seriousness of the topic, you know. Was there any other questions that anybody had for me? Any other cases of interest that I can write down? I can tell you I have a book that's started with a whole bunch. No, it's not that I think that we even agree or disagree on it. It's just a topic that I don't really want to discuss because of the seriousness of it all, you know? So it's not even that we're disagreeing because I don't even really know your what, you know, like you haven't stated a standpoint of some sort, or, you know, like when the discussion of what you're saying hasn't really gone back and forth, and we don't really have a point to it either, right? So you have had an all day hangover today. you ate you ate a seven one vanilla chai from Dunkin' Donuts. Okay then. Well, enjoy nursing yourself back to health. Try not to destroy yourself so badly again. How do I make the brownie edibles? Personally, I use just a brownie mix, and then after I've made the brownie mix, I add in my dry product, and then I cook it in the oven at 200 degrees for like 2 hours. Because if you cook it over 200 degrees, you're going to burn the medicinal value of your dry product. And there you go. And there you have it. You got a call? what, what I missed? You're cute. She did live, Lori. Can you believe that? She still suffers from partial paralysis a little bit in her arm and her leg. She has a bit of numbing and tingling and stuff like that. So, but she's definitely doing better. And you know what? I haven't tried the butter yet, just because I'm not a huge butter person. I don't, you know, this might sound a little silly, but to me, butter is just fattening, and I don't really use it for anything. I don't put it on toast. I don't use it for nothing really other than baking. Um, you know, so I don't know about the butter for me personally. I wish I could figure out how to make more like the concentrates, but I have to educate myself a lot more first before I even attempt it. You're not sure how you got on here? Did I post on Watts? Absolutely, Sovereign. I'm pretty sure I have like 70 videos on the whole Watts thing. Because I mean, I from the get-go was stating that Nicole Kessinger, you know, there's a lot more questions on her involvement and whatnot. I'm happy you got a mug and a tote bag. Yay, Donna. Oh, that's amazing. I love the tote. I have it too, and it's great. The girl survived, Lori. Can you believe that? He when he stabbed her in the neck, he sliced her spinal cord, so she was partially paralyzed. But I mean, it took a lot of physiotherapy and a lot of healing for her to get back to, fairly normal in a sense, but she still suffers from, tingling in her arms and her legs, and she had to drop out from the, you know, um, Fashion Institute of Technology because she couldn't carry on. She had to heal after she was stabbed in the neck. Oh no, cooks with lard. Oh my gosh. Yeah, see, I'm just You like the sound of my brownies, Jane? Well, thanks. Thanks, Holly. I have a beautiful voice. Clary was mentioning that I should try ASMR true crime, but I'm not really sure how to do ASMR true crime. It would be brand new type of a branch off for me, but I think I might try to educate myself a little bit and see if I can try it, but I'm not sure how it'll go. So, it's always good to try new things and broaden your horizon and, um, see what else you might be good at. I don't know if I'll even be good at it, to be honest with you. It must hurt like hell to even heal from like Giga Chuck to even heal from having your spinal cord tendon cut in your neck would be just brutal. Like I can't even imagine. Movie called Looking for Mr. Goodbar reminds me of the case I'm discussing. Okay, I'll have to write that down. Interesting. You love cinnamon sugar butter? Yeah, I might like butter if it had that in there, but I still don't want to have a bunch of butter because it's really not good for me. Sounds pretty serious. Yeah, it takes forever to heal from a neurological thing like that. I can't even imagine. Hey, Tammy, you made it, honey. How are you, girl? Yeah, Sarah, I can't even imagine, the pain of the physiotherapy to learn some of those things and get your strength back in your spine from such a heinous attack, right? You had a neck surgery? Tammy's here. I love it. Tammy's here. That's great. That's awesome. Seriously. You make the butter to bake the edibles with. Well, oh, Chef, thanks. Really appreciate that, hon. You bought a book? You bought a book? Did you buy the book Like Father Like Son? Is that what you're talking about? Seriously? I think that might be what you're talking about, but I'm not sure. Hello, Mama. Which book, Tammy? We're all like, where? Wait, where'd you go? Oh, you got to fly? All right, Chef Han. The book I showed? Which one, honey? Which one? For my first YouTube uploads? Are you serious? No way. Hang on. All right. Could this be the book you're talking about? Be right back. You'll find it. Is this the book you're talking about? this was the book that I was sharing, real true tips and tricks, for you guys. This was when I first started my channel, before I got into the real true crime stories and real like true this and true that. Love to all, chef. Mwah. Have a great and safe and happy one. That's the one? Seriously? That's so cool. Well, did you get like a newer one? Because mine is like an older version, or did you get the same version? I'm so curious if they've made a newer version now, from what you're saying. You're gonna check it out, but is it? Can you check in your book if it's like right on your illustrations what it says on what year yours is? It should just be like, it's the same? Oh, okay. Well, this one's got like, the smart consumer, in and around the house, you in your car, enjoying leisure, skilled traveler, looks, family life, relationships, sports and fitness, eating and dieting, staying healthy, solving health problems, brain power, self-improvement, communicating clearly, kids in college, career strategies, management skills, successful collecting, smart investing, real estate moneymakers, smart money management, financial retirement, more insurance for less, tax strategies, handling the IRS, and personal legal tactics. And I thought it was a very informative book, to be honest with you. I thought it was really cool. Although I didn't share all of the tips and tricks. I just looked for some key important ones that I thought were really cool and that other people might be like, hey, cool, that's really neat. I didn't know about that or whatever, So yeah, that's really cool. That's actually how I started. I was still taking my legal course, you guys, when I started this. So, I was just trying to see if I could figure out how to earn some extra revenue. I had student loans I was going to be worrying about. It's a book of secrets and it's tips and tricks for, the everyday person. It's a really cool book, to be honest with you. And I mean, there's that stuff in there is like still pertinent, So I thought it was really cool. I was still taking my legal course and I was trying to figure out, creative ways that I could try to earn some revenue in order to help with the student loans, in order to help with, just side money, right? Just anything. So that's what got me into this. And I was like, well, what can I do, that other people might be interested in? And I thought, well, everybody could use a tip and a trick. And that's sort of where things got. It was always true. Like everything on my channel has always been true, So carrying forward, changing my name from it, because my name started out as just me. It just was like Miss Sherry Wiens, and then I just put true stories, right? Because it was always, stories or, missing people or true crimes or natural disasters or just chaos, true, real stories. So that's where it all developed from. I'm so glad that you grabbed the book. That's so cool. I hope that you have some interesting jaw drop of, hey, I didn't know about that. And, really cool things too. That's so cool. I enjoy that story in the movie. Yeah, absolutely. Did I hear about the Canadian woman and her Italian boyfriend went missing in West Africa? No, I did not. Do we have a name, Purple Gaze? Better go. Then we got better and better. And we have a store as well to help Miss Sherry. Yes. Yes, I think there was somebody that was just viewing tonight that, hey, Happy Fox, how are you, hon? Popping in to say hello. I'm so glad you did. Thank you, my friend. Very kind of you. I call everybody hun, by the way, friends, male, female, everybody's hun, Lori, first live I've seen with you. I'm charismatic. You look forward to seeing more lives. Thanks, Lori. That's super sweet of you. Salut, Francienne. Comment ça va, ma belle? Like a great detective. No car, an armchair detective for isn't that another YouTuber, Armchair? I'm awesome. Thanks, Daisy Sushine. You don't use butter either? Yeah, I don't really use it for very much. But I mean, I eat it because I use it with baking. So I've just never done the butter, the can of butter stuff, you know? But I thought about doing it with like coconut oil because that's, you know, I like coconut oil. I could use that maybe. But yes, me too. I want to kind of explore a little bit with the concentrates and stuff for myself. Yes. For me, a lot of people are boo. Yeah, I hear you, Laura. You've been watching the past trial about UFC fighters, state of Nevada against War Machine, major case of attempted murder because of jealousy, who got life in prison. Ooh, really? I should write that down. UFC. Hey, Virtual Asylum. This is my Virtual Asylum is my logo creator, you guys. She is awesome. I'm not sure if her name is Dana or Dana because I know that I have a Dana here, but I've accidentally called her Dana. So she created my logo, and isn't it amazing? Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if any of you guys are looking for a logo creator, she rocks. So you'll have to send her a message, Virtual Asylum. You sent me a message earlier, Ton. I really haven't even been on the I haven't been on Gmail for today yet. You say hun too, Happy Fox? Well, that's great. You know, it's just friendly, you know, like it's not but I guess some people view it as possibly inappropriate. I'm not sure, but I just mean it super friendly. So yes, I figured that was another YouTuber. I think I've even watched one of his shows. Well, Lewis, everybody can see that, darling. Lori, you're so cute. You want to still raise eyebrows about? Yes, well, I have that written down, Holly. So stay tuned to my channel. Doing I will be doing an update. I will be doing a story on the Amanda Knox story. It is something that was suggested in 2018, and I had asked you guys, you know, if there was any stories you want me to check out, you know, please let me know. And one of those stories was Amanda Knox. So the answers to all of those, you know, those stories are coming for sure. Either that or Sweetie, hey? It's Dana, pronounced like that? Okay, perfect. Because I was calling another girl on here Dana, but hers is spelled like the same way, but it's pronounced Dana. So you call people honey and sweetheart just comes out. Yeah, I know, right? You love the mug. To look. What do you mean there's none yet? What do you mean? There's some there. How is there none there? I don't understand how. Now I'm going to have to go and check that out. Because I don't understand. Girlfriend, Christy Mack was porn star. Ribs severed her liver, knocked her teeth out, and she ran to a neighbor's common room. E. Blackburn, who are you talking about? Still think she knows more than she's letting on. Amanda. Yeah, I'm not, you know, I've gotta review that before. Can I be so bold as to ask for positive thoughts or prayers at 21 is born with a consent syndrome that affects her heart? Just going to make the college. Absolutely, Chef. I will definitely put that into prayers for you, hon. No problem, okay? I read Amanda Knox is getting married. Yes, Holly. Yeah, stay tuned for that, hun. Thank you, Lori. That's great. 34-year-old Edith Blaze from Quebec missing 1215. Let's see. Interesting. Interessant. Thank you, Sunkissed. It's on YouTube? Okay, well. Interesting. Amanda Knox would be a good one. She seems kind of scary. She seems a little bit off, but I mean, I really have to review some things before I can kind of state my thoughts, you know? So I don't really want to see too much because, I really need to do all that reviewing first. Sure, you're going to cover the Roden family massacre. I have heard of that. Where did that happen again, Dana? I've heard of that. Where did I hear that? Who was it that did the massacre? Maybe I've heard of the perp. Yes, chef, for sure. No, she's having diarrhea. She just can't hold on food. Nursing care. Feeding too. Okay. Dana was in Ohio. I feel like I've heard about this. They were just caught. Maybe that's why I've heard about it or something. I've heard of this. I'm pretty sure. I literally have a book started. You guys, you wouldn't believe it. It's a mini book, but it's a book nonetheless of a bunch of cases that I want to look into for you guys because I didn't want to just ask you guys for suggestions on things you wanted to hear about and not let you hear about it. So, you got to go, Deborah. All right. Well, have a great dinner. Have a safe night. We'll chat later. Cruelty. Interesting. Weird. That's a weird one, Tammy. Page of Facebook. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know who you are, but your name screams that you shouldn't be here. Unsure about Amanda Knox and her story. Sunkiss says she did speak great Italian at her release here, you know. What a scary situation, though, to be in another country and accused of such a heinous crime, like a murder. You know, that's really nothing to be taken lightly. Oh man, thanks, Tammy. I had to click on it to see what it was. Like seriously, that's hilarious. Oh my goodness. In Alaska. Hey Vincina, how are ya? What the hecking? Oh, you read the name? Oh man, I was like, what? What is this channel about? I cover true stories, true crime stories, true missing people, true survivors, true natural disasters, true tips and tricks, basically just true stories. I have an upbeat, charismatic attitude, and it's a very, very accepting, open platform that you're able to sort of comment your thoughts and opinions here without getting attacked like you do on some other channels, even if it's a difference of opinion. That's one of the best parts about this channel is that, you know, most people who have been here for a while know that, but for those that are new, um, understand that you are definitely able to say whatever you want as long as it's not derogatory, demeaning, insulting, and directed towards myself or another viewer. It will most certainly not be deleted, and will be accepted even if we don't agree. We can agree to disagree. We can debate. We can hash stuff out here. There's just going to be a level of respect that happens here. That I'd like to maintain. So, hiya to all the new chatters. That's cute. Sherry discusses true crime, live chats. Chat. Absolutely. It's great to come together. Tea Talks, what's up with everybody's favorite colognes? Is that what that's supposed to read? I think. You liked my take on cases. Well, thanks, Sarah. This is freaky. Jared Murray case is freaky. Killed a fellow student because the idea just popped into his head. Yeesh, that's crazy. We had a very crazy story happen here, particularly in my province. By you guys might have heard of it. It was Vince Lee. He was the person that beheaded someone on the Greyhound buses. He was taken. He was actually right here in the town that I'm in, just on the outskirts when it all sort of went down. But apparently he suffered from schizophrenia and he wasn't on his medications, and something just popped into his head. He was being told by voices, to take this kid's head off. And I mean, he was a really, really good kid. His whole life ahead of him, super friendly guy. I believe he was quite young, like in early 20s. And it was absolutely brutal that he beheaded him like right on the bus. Some of the officers that were even involved in that, had to leave on stress leave and stuff because of it. It was crazy. It was on national news lines everywhere. It was crazy, But Tammy, let's not do that, honey. Like it's okay to have your opinion and stuff, but let's just remove that. Because I don't want to have that, it's not even that I don't like or really do like that person. I just don't want to have anything like that. Tim McLean. Thank you, Happy Fox. I couldn't think of all the names and everything right now. We're just, talking and it just sort of the topic came up. But yes, Tim McLean, he was so young. And, Vince Lee was like walking up and down the aisle with, this kid's head in his hand. And it was a pretty brutal, brutal slaying. What had happened, because things like this usually got checked, right? You weren't allowed on buses with weapons, right? So you had to pass through checkpoint, but he didn't have anything on him when he first got on the bus, but the bus stopped at a certain place and he got out and he went to the store and there was knives in the store and he bought one in the store. And of course there was no checkpoint there. It was just quick like coffee break, bathroom break kind of thing, and then you get back on and you keep going. And he had went into this store and bought this knife and brought it back on, and then he of course was having some sort of psychotic issues with dealing with schizophrenia and not on his meds. He ended up beheading this kid, and it was, I can't even imagine how the fear that must have gone through him. Like, I would like to think that if I was sitting in that exact kind of a situation, that I would try to stop the guy, or I would try to do something to prevent what was about to happen. But, who knows? Like, because there was people that were sitting near him and stuff, but who knows how anybody really would react. But I would like to think that if anything like that ever happened while I was sitting there, that I would try to stop it, or I would try to do something to stop that. Hey, Neil from UK. If you're having a reply, sure you can. Like your channel. You like my channel, Kate Justice? Thank you. That's very sweet of you. Yeah, it was really crazy, Sarah. This kid had his whole life ahead of him, and he was a really, really, really good kid. Just didn't deserve that to happen to him. But the gentleman, Vince Lee, like, he should have been on his medications, but of course that's not something that's monitored. And it was all a whole bunch of a series of things that sort of happened that created this. Can't even go on the bus without feeling safe. It was pretty traumatic. I mean, they have new policies in place now because of that, but absolutely insane, and awful. Am I drinking tea? Yeah, actually it's on my last sip, so. But yes, I had green tea peppermint. What tea am I drinking? Yeah. You just don't know the insanity of someone else. Yeah. And I mean, in that situation, you guys, like I said, if that actually went down right beside me, I would like to think that I would get up and try to stop it. I would try to grab his arm and stop him or something, and get somebody to help me stop him, because all it takes is one courageous person to start trying to stop something before a bunch of other people might jump in and help you out, So, but he did take his head off, absolutely, totally, and he was carrying it up and down the bus aisle. It was brutal, Hazel. It was absolutely insane. And like I said, like there was just nothing the officers could do. And I mean, Tim was already dead. It was just brutal, though, to watch something like that unfold, and not be able to prevent it, and insane, Green tea makes you wonky? You could only handle black tea. Oh, I like green tea. It's nice. Yeah, he was absolutely beheaded. I can't even imagine. He was probably screaming and scared and didn't know what was going on, you know. But like I said, I'd like to think that I would try to stop something like that from happening, but that didn't happen for Tim and as many people that were there, you know. Um, I have to look it up. Hang on. Someone else might have it quicker than me. Actually, I just found the Wikipedia for Tim McLean. Was the boy that was beheaded. Yeah, it was July 30th, 2008. Is he sleeping? You don't like, but it doesn't like you, Kate Justice. Oh, that's cute. Glad I don't get out much. Oh, I hear you, Daisy. Yeah. The thing is that you don't really know when something bad is going to happen, where it's going to happen, or who it's going to happen to, right? But having your own sort of foundation of what is okay and what is right, what is wrong, I think that could be helpful in that kind of a situation. I can't imagine how all those people felt going through stuff like that. Some of them interviewed on the news, and I mean, they were just traumatized to ever take the bus again. It makes me sick too, Holly. Or Sarah. Absolutely crazy. Seen some things on the train and bus that has to top it all. Yeah, our tria. It was crazy, and the fact that it had happened literally right here, literally where I live now, was insane. Like it ended up being a case that I studied for my legal course because they wanted us to, present a case that had already sort of gone through the process, um, in our own type of way or whatever. And I had chosen that case, but it was really difficult because there was so much controversy, even in the community, as to whether or not he was criminally responsible or whether or not he should just be, sort of mentally responsible in a sense because he had mental illness and, he just maybe needed treatment. He didn't necessarily need jail, but I mean, he did kill someone. The guy's actually a really nice, calm guy, but because he wasn't on his medications and he was sort of taking control of his own life and he didn't think he needed it and all this kind of stuff, that's where things went really wrong. If you know that you suffer from something, like I know I suffer from depression, I wouldn't just stop taking my antidepressants. I would put me in a spiral downward, that I probably wouldn't be able to pull myself up out of. It would be dangerous. So I wouldn't take myself off my antidepressants, but for whatever reason, he stopped his medications and it created for this catastrophe. He was away from his wife, so she wasn't there to monitor. Nobody was around him to, tell him that he needs to take his medication. He was on a freaking public bus, traveling across Canada, going from one place to the next kind of thing. Like, how old was he? Are you talking about Vince Lee? The boy that he killed was only 22. McLean's killer was 40. He was a Chinese Canadian. He was 40. So the fact of like, should he go to jail or should he go to the hospital was, a huge public concern, right? And I mean, it was finally decided that he needed to be in a hospital versus a jail. So he was admitted to a mental hospital. And I mean, the day that he got even just one walk, outside away from supervision, it was like all over the news. I mean, there was controversy left, right, and center as to, how much freedom this person should have. And it was pretty much decided that the guy should be monitored for life and that he should always be on his medications. That he would definitely shouldn't be never monitored or not monitored, due to the heinous crime that he committed and the fact that he had gone off of his medication himself. So really, really crazy, crazy story. Most people like that don't think they need their medications, which I get. Oh, my ex is schizophrenic, got off his meds, did end up in the hospital, eventually committed suicide. Yeah, I think it's just it's asking for trouble. If you know that you're dealing with something or suffering from something and you need medications for it, taking that upon yourself to restrict that is definitely not a good idea. You need to work with a doctor if you're going to change your meds or you're going to try something new, because that should be monitored, and it would be monitored fairly closely if you were going to start messing with medications. Your doctor's appointments would be more frequent. You would need to check in for things like that to make sure that there was some stability with that, that it was working out, not, going in a negative direction and creating more harm. So yes, we the public know where he is. He actually still, as far as I know, lives in the city that I grew up. And he was in a mental hospital in the same province that I live. But like I said, you guys, like, it was determined that he should basically always be monitored. He needs to always be monitored, that he is medicating so that something like that doesn't happen again. Because you can imagine the backlash that would have on the judicial system, on the mental health system, if they were to release someone like that and he took it upon himself again to not medicate and something even worse happens, or the same thing happens, it would turn blame on to, yes, he is free now. It would turn blame onto those systems for, not justifyingly keeping the public safe, right? So, hi, Bill. Thanks for the compliment. Where was this, on a bus? It was on the Greyhound bus that was traveling through Canada. Yes, Sarah, hun. Makes you sick, Holly. No kidding. He changed his number and moved. No, he's still in Manitoba as far as I know. Yeah, no, you definitely have the right to know where he is. Yep. It was crazy. New Stephen who? Are you talking about Stephen Avery by chance, Kate Justice? Or no? You have to take medicines, and I don't. Just stop taking it. Yes, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, I take medications for my depression, and I wouldn't just stop something like that, Because I clearly still continue to suffer from depression. So that's not something that I would just take out of my system, like, oh, I don't need this anymore, I'm not sure if there's a difference with the schizophrenia thing. I'm clearly, because he thought he was okay and he didn't need it, but that's not really how medications work. The reason that you're okay if you're on medication is because of it, usually, right? It came from behind and it was very fast, Hazel, and no, he had no time. That's what I mean when I say, like, if I would have been sitting around that kind of a situation, I would like to think that I would be getting up there and trying to help someone before, the devastation of the action. I'm an old veteran and still occasionally have nightmares. That stuff can stay with you for a while, but on a bus and civilian life is horrific. Yes. 24-hour crime, sir. I would just like to say thank you for your service. That's awesome. I had a grandfather that was a veteran in World War II, and I just would like to say thank you. You know, you put that in your comments, so I feel the need to address that and say thank you for your, you know, your service. Even if it wasn't for my country, it's for your country. If you're in the United States, that's okay. I think that's honorable and awesome, and you know, that's good. The 22, yeah, the 22-year-old, I don't think he could even see it coming, Hazel. You know, it happened so quickly. So, you know, they wouldn't be able to be trust him out in the public with no monitoring on whether or not he's medicated, you know. Medications are commonly prescribed, but I mean, okay, so here's the thing about that though, right? I mean, if you're working with a really good doctor and you do have issues that need help and addressed, you know, medically, well then, you know, working with a doctor is smart, in my opinion. Um, there are some doctors out there that aren't that great and they're just ready to, you know, throw out the opiate prescriptions and stuff. We've had all kinds of you know, craziness on our side as well as you guys on your side with that kind of situation. So, I mean, it's good. It's monitored now, you know, but if you find the right doctor, that can be an amazing connection and help, you know. Oh, that's what it was. Happy Fox said he had fallen asleep. That's right. It's been a while since I covered that case, you guys. So the details, every detail is not exactly fresh. But you're right, he didn't see it coming, you know. But I forgot that he had fallen asleep. That's true. Quick quick question, Laura. Not sure if I missed it. Did you say how long he was in jail for? No, he ended up, if you're talking about Vince Lee, he ended up going to the mental health hospital for his treatment there. And it was years, you know, years. Steven Stainer. Oh, okay. I don't think I know anything about that case either. Hmm, too many cases. Steven Stainer. You have an idea for me? Sunkissed. Golden years long and silent film actress Mabel Morning. She's tragic and scary. Okay. I'll have to look into that. Mabel. A large percentage of the population of one meds, including myself. You know what? It's not a bad thing. You know, if you can regulate yourself with something and you need a bit of help to do that, I don't think that that is a weakness. I think it's a strength to recognize that you need something like that, you know, and to take control of your own sort of destiny, your own happiness, your own, you know, being okay. With the fire extinguisher. Yeah, I don't know. As far if I remember correctly, you guys, it was like the middle of the night, you know. So who knows, like how many people were even literally awake while this was actually, you know, went down. Pepper spray, yeah. Committed to the asylum, yeah. Well, mental health hospital, yeah. Incidents had really good dogs. Not to not be over prescribed meds. Yeah, yes, exactly. I that was something that was one of my concerns was I am I going to start with one and then I'm going to need like 16 because that's not, you know, that's not what I wanted. But I also have a really great doctor who's, you know, helps me with everything, who's very on top of any issue right away. Testing, whatever we need to do, specialist, you know, appointments, referrals, all that kind of stuff. Very, you know, proactive with me. Yeah, it took me a long time to find the right doctor too. Yeah. The pill pushers they're not good, you know. You want somebody who genuinely cares and wants to figure out the problem, right? Cole, who thinks Sherry is the most beautiful person on YouTube? Aw, yeah, it's very sweet of you, Happy Fox. Thanks. Do you feel well? I feel normal most of the time. Yes, Donna. And I think that's normal. You know, you're still going to have a little bit of ups and downs. You shouldn't be just totally comatose with the meds. You know, and in fact, you might try something and it's too strong. You might need to lower, you know, that's the good part about working with the doctor, though. Pepper sprayed someone on the bus myself. I don't think they would have stopped them from chopping my head. Yeah. Lewis, two shoes, thanks. That's cute. You totally agree, Vincina. Yeah, there, you know, you might end up trying something and it's just a totally, you know, it's way too much, you know. They aren't always easy to find. And you know, some places are really short on doctors. You know, personally in the town that I live now, when I first got here, I had to deal with just walk-in clinics and the doctors that were available because there wasn't enough doctors here for like the first year and a half before some doctors came into the town and I was able to, you know, go under the list of one of them and he's amazing. Like I really loved the doctor that I chose. What's awesome about that too is that it was like a list. You know, it was a list of like 6 names, 7 names, or something like that. And you just had to pick a name, and you know that's who your doctor would be, and you get to meet them when they showed up, kind of thing. So I had no idea what kind of doctor I was going to get, and I got an amazing doctor. I'm like so happy. Would never want to lose him. If I ever moved, I'd ask him, do you want to just come with me? You know, but I'm sure that all of the doctors have like recommendations too. So if I was to ever move, I could take a recommendation somewhere. And I probably wouldn't go too far anyways, so I could maybe even just drive to see the one that I love, you know, the one that I know really works for me and helps me. Your poor nephew is overly prescribed meds. Your sister thought it was the best thing in after years, so they figured out what was wrong with them. Took them off the meds. Wow, that's amazing. Well, at least they figured it out, though, you know. Canada is different people. It's definitely a labor of love. Aw. Yeah, we're you know what though? Don't get it wrong. I have my days where I'm just, you know, sheer bitchy too. There's days where I'm just really not, you know, I'm frown on my face. I don't want to be approached, you know. But whatever. I'm normal. Like I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm not a fake person. You will never ever come across me being like a fake, you know, anything. So that's the good part, I guess, about me. Corey Stainer. I thought it was Steven Stainer. Did I write the name down incorrectly or something? Your dad fought in World War II as well, Happy Fox? My grandfather was in that one and survived and later died of a heart attack. Crazy, right? You're in the mental health field, Vincina? We say that depression is a loss of focus. Interesting. Well, I definitely have a lot of loss that's created the depression. I don't know about the focus part of it, you know, but the things that I used to focus on that I lost, you know, is what created for me to, you know, be dealing with this depression. So your son has pure OCD. Doctor started medicating him at 17. Nightmare. Come on, meds. Well, interesting. Mental health is not good here in the US as far as insurance goes. Interesting. But I mean, can't you guys get medical coverage just like anybody else? You know, you just go and pay medical coverage and your meds are covered and you have a certain amount of stuff, you know, coverage for things, vision, dental, prescription, eyes, you know, whatever. is Susan Schofield. Her two children, schizophrenia. Interesting. Wow. Well, I don't know about taking meds when you're pregnant though, but that is something that you'd want to work with your doctor, you know? So if you're on something and you found out that you got pregnant, you definitely want to hit up the doctor and be like, all right, listen, so I just got pregnant. I don't know what to do about the meds that I am on and work with them. Maybe there's a way you can wean yourself off them. Maybe, you should still take them. That's something you should really deal with a doctor, right? Pay through the ass. Interesting. It's not just like a monthly fee under $100 kind of thing, and you're covered for 80% and, kind of basics. There's nothing like that out there. You got insurance through your job though. That's really good. Nicest chat room ever. I saw that. That's super cool. Love the emojis. Finally got lucky with Horizon. DNA tested him. See what meds he could take. CBT is important as well. Interesting. Your nephew is in the mental ward for 8 days. Sister will not give him any meds anymore. He gets the right doctor. Turns out he was autistic. Interesting. Wow. Oh, the medications help you to refocus. Yeah, that's true. I really couldn't pull myself up out of that funk by myself. And it took me realizing that I was in that kind of a situation and going to my doctor and saying that I think that I'm dealing with depression. And then we started working on all kinds of different medications. Only for emergency coverage if you have any medical issues. Oh, that's all right. Eritrea, that's okay. Just a little bit of general talk about, coverage and stuff. No politics, no political jargon, I'm sure. But it's interesting to hear about the different coverages and how that works, But if you have something through your work, that's best. But well, I mean, if you have something at all, that's best. Never mind. But I mean, that's awesome if you can have it through your work, right? Because it comes then the pay of it comes off of your paycheck. You don't really have to worry about it. It's always there, right? $400 a month. Yeesh. That's crazy. Well, you know what though? That's actually not that far off. Well, because you can be paying like $50 every 2 weeks kind of thing. So $100 a month, but it depends on how much coverage you want, how many people you want covered and all of that too, right? You're so grateful your employer pays for all of it. Very lucky. Absolutely. Oh, Happy Fox. Thank you so much. That's so nice of you. Thank you. That's amazing. Sister can relate. They would never listen to her nephew and wouldn't believe her and some of the things that she'd say. Yeah, that's unfortunate. If you find a doctor that does that to you, though, folks, go find another doctor because, I mean, it's like all humans, right? There's some good and there's some bad. It's in anything and everything. So you will find some bad doctors out there. But if you're unhappy with that or you're unhappy with the, diagnosis or the testing or whatever, get yourself a second opinion. There's usually physician hotlines that you can find in your area that will like help you find doctors that are available. There's usually always walk-in clinics and stuff. So like if you have to, look for another one, I suggest that because there are good ones out there. It's not something you can just spring out of. Yes, that's true, Kate, But that being said, Kate, you want to be aware if you are in a funk, right? I will sub to your channel, DJ. Sure. What's your channel about, honey? I should ask you that. Sunkissed, you're so cute. That's funny. Many doctors don't listen. We went through many and found one. Yes. Well, you know what though? Like there's some that won't, there's some that will, there's some that think that they're right and it's their way or whatever. And within reason though, you guys, because like even my doctor was like that with all the pain that I deal with, all the different things that I dealt with over the years. We've tried a slew of all kinds of medications. And I did that with him for like almost 4 years before I asked to try the medical marijuana prescription. And it was granted to me years ago now, but I mean it took many number of years to get there to try all of their ways because that's respectful, right? I mean, if there's a doctor that's sitting there that's been trained in whatever's going on within reason, folks, you know, um, try to listen and try to work with them and try things their way. And if you're finding that that's not working, like continuing that relationship, going back for revisits and stuff like that, it helps, right? It helps work together to find the things that work the best for you. CBD is great. CBD, there's oils, there's the flower, there's edibles, and I mean, it just takes all the pain away. There's no THC in it. So, you're not actually getting high, you're just maintaining and managing your pain. So, it's really good for all kinds of diseases. I've seen all kinds of studies that were done with CBD oils, and it's fascinating to see the benefits of it and how it helps some folks. You still can't find the right doctor. Well, you know I mean, you're admitting that you're picky, so maybe it's you. I love you, Laura. But I mean, in all honesty, if you found an honest, caring doctor that really does listen to you, and you just don't want to do the process, you might have to do the process, is what I'm trying to say. But if you're not happy with how you jive and get along, and the testing and their thoughts and their prescribed meds and things like that, all of those things, you can go and look for another doctor, to replace that. Do I have a brand of CBD that I recommend? Some of it is shady. Oh, well, mine is medically prescribed. So, I mean, what's in mine is disclosed. There's some companies out there that don't always disclose everything that's in their product, right? But do your research, because that's important. You have to make sure you're comfortable as well. You self medicate with CBD and THC. I do too, Laura. It helps. The THC, the indica, helps me with my sleep when I have trouble sleeping. Um, the sativa helps me with my daytime energy levels and things like that. Oh, you said you're not picky? Oh, I'm sorry, Laura. Sorry, hun. I misread that. I'm sorry. But there's a ton of benefits there with the medical marijuana, in my opinion. You like talk therapy as well? Love it. That's awesome, Sarah. I told off the doctor she had preached Sun syndrome like Jeffrey Dahmer. They act like yes, a warpath. I went to mental hospital 72 hours. Wow. Well, that's crazy. I think it's always best to be respectful and have your best foot forward. Even in frustrating situations, there's an old saying that says, you catch more flies or you catch more bees with honey than you do, flies with shit. I think that's the saying. I'm not sure exactly, but you basically, if you're nice about things, you achieve more. You get farther if you maintain your cool and try to articulate your issue versus freaking out and getting upset, which I have done both. Let me just say, the reason that I know this is because I've done both. When I was younger, I was a little bit more of a hothead and defensive, and like I would jump at things and whatnot. But you know, now that I'm older, like, you have to sort of maintain a level of respect. And I find that it goes a lot further. I actually, here, I have a perfect example, you guys. Recently, I found out that my banking system was actually overcharging me on my monthly fees. And I was really upset about it. I was really pissed off that these people, the bank, they already make millions of dollars or whatever, are taking like extra money out of my account and whatever. And so I got on the phone, of course, and I found out that this has been going on for like a long time. So I talked with you know, the rep at first, and I mean, he was able to give me back like a small amount of money, like 1 month worth of fees. And I really wasn't too happy with that. But rather than freak out on him and get upset at him and curse and swear and hang up the phone and be all mad about it, which is something I might have done in the past when I was younger and stupid, I held my cool and I asked him to transfer me to his supervisor because I wanted to go higher up. I wanted to, discuss this with someone who had more power to give me back more money. And, I realized that it wasn't going to get anywhere further with the representative. So after I finished with him, he transferred me over to his boss and I went through my spiel with him and, he gave me back all my money. And I was like, okay, well, thank you, because it really wasn't that much money. But the fact that I think that I held my cool on it and was just adamant and, I was honest about what I thought I had raised my account to and what it had actually gone to. And I just wanted the difference. And so I find that things go a lot further if you don't, overreact. So try that next time is my suggestion. What's going on? I don't know about kratom. I have no idea. My thought about kratom. Taking for years, you can only praise the effects for pain and anxiety. Oh, I didn't know that was a pain and anxiety medication. Sorry. I honestly, I have replaced like 3 pharmaceutical pills with the 1 medical marijuana prescription. So I'm not perfect, y'all. I've gone through, my days of not being the coolest cat. So you live and learn, you move on, you grow up, and thank you, Michael, for the compliment. And you realize what works and what doesn't, by just experience, honestly. That's another thing that I found out. Like, really, you can't really tell anybody not to try or do something, or warn them because nobody really thinks that anything will really happen to them the same way that it happened to you. And they've got more control and, everything's sort of better. But you can't really tell anybody, don't do that because I tried that and this is what it did for me. It was nothing good. Like it never works. I've never ever heard that in my lifetime myself where someone tried to warn me and I took it. Never happened. Always took the hard way, the hard road. Learn the hard way. Hello, Orhan. DJ, what's your channel about? Did you tell me? Because I remember I asked, but then I went rambling on. But what is your channel about, DJ? Since you're Animals in Life. I think I just found it. Animals in Life. Did I find it? Animals in Life. That's pretty cool. Yeah. That sounds really cool. What kind of animals do you have? No, smoking doesn't give me anxiety or else I wouldn't do it, but I have heard that some people have that issue and that's why they can't smoke anymore. but that's not never something that I have dealt with yet. So if I were to deal with it, I would have to go back and work with my doctor on finding another medication that was similar, you know, benefits for me. Yeah, I really, really enjoy the way that I take care of myself now, you know? I don't know what that means. You have a snake, gecko, guinea pig, dogs, frogs, birds. Wow, you have like a whole oasis of animals over there. That's cool. That's so cool. No, I've never tried it. I think I'm good now, you know. I have my antidepressant that works. I have a light sleep aid that's also like an antidepressant that works like at night, if I need. And then I have my medical marijuana and I'm okay, you know. I have naproxen for inflammation, so that helps a little bit too. But I'm done with all the stronger pharmaceuticals, side effects, and all that kind of jazz. Forget it. I'm done. Sativa? No, I haven't found it causes any anxiety. But granted, I do use my CBD far more frequently than sativa, and then I use my indica for at night. So, you know, sativa isn't used at night at all. So, I mean, I don't use it as frequently, but I think if I were to find that I were to feel like that, I would amend it somehow and fix that. You know, you're going to bed, Michael. Have a good night. See you. Mwah. Thanks for joining. Good night. It's not legal in a lot of states. Yes. An indica and a hybrid. Yeah, you're right, Laura. Doesn't cause anxiety for you either. No. Woodswoman channel. Live in Georgia, not recognized here. They prefer to kill people with pain pills. Not me, I suffer. Will not be on a pill. Well, you know that's definitely your prerogative, and if that works for you, that's awesome, Amanda. You know, and I think that is an important thing to know that you know you have to. Yes, my Facebook link is on my about page on YouTube, but you have to know what works best for you. You know, like and what you're okay with and stuff like that. And it depends on where you are in the world. Sometimes I've noticed. You know, you know your shit. That's awesome. Herb kratom offers relief from pain, depression, anxiety. Scientists say it may hold the key to treating chronic pain and may even be a tool to combat addiction and opiate medications. Man, the opiate medication addictions are crazy out here too, but I can look you up, Luca. Yeah. Well, hello. I think it's is it Michelle or Michael? Are you male or female, Mr. or Mrs. Garcia? Try kratom for pain. I'll get my card. I don't know what kratom is. I don't think that that's a marijuana of any kind. CDC crackdown here. What's CDC? Hello, sexy grandma. You're funny. I'm only 40, but I'm not insulted. I'm older and wiser. Oh boy. Kratom is a leaf? Sheesh, I had no idea. Seriously. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Interesting. We've got one of those actually in Winnipeg. Kratom is an herb. Well, I'm okay with the herb that I know is an herb, and it doesn't have that name. Marijuana does help in so many ways. That's the only herb I want to take. Thank you very much. Sheesh. It's got the right amount, exactly. For every and anything, you know? Absolutely. I don't know what CBN is either. I'm just like, what? I don't know what all this stuff is. Seriously, though, you guys, I stopped doing pharmaceuticals years ago. So, no, you guys are just getting all weird on me now. No thanks. You puked for an hour? Oh my goodness. Well, that's not very good. Cognitive behavior. Yeah, I don't know. I'm certainly not an expert on any of that. Wow. That's crazy. Kate Justice. Why are you dying? Oh, Evening, Bobby Tough. Well, this has been a really, really awesome live as usual. We always have a really good conversation. It sort of bounces all over the place. That's the one thing that I really like about our live chats is they're not very structured. Even though when I do have a story to throw in there, I'm able to structurize that for you. So I definitely will see you all again on Tuesday for our next live, and I think I'll probably try an even a bit later time and see if we can't do, say, maybe around 7 p.m. And that would be 7 p.m. Central Standard GMT time, though. So I believe YouTube time, that's actually like 5. So we'll try that and see if we've got, an even larger amount of viewers that can join and share some thoughts and opinions and look into the CBN sleep aid. Yeah, but I'm good with the sleep aids I got right now. I don't really need anything else, And I'm old school, you guys. Like what works for me works for me. I don't need to mess with it, It's okay to try new things when you're trying to figure out what works for you, but I mean, I'm like 10 years into figuring out what works for me, you guys. Almost 11. Like I'm good, Like, so as far as the new meds go, I probably won't be switching anything up because my system is regulated and I still have some sad days and some crying days or whatever that I deal with, but it's regulated for my depression. My pain is something I deal with regularly all the time. So work in progress for that, but I'm not going to go into branching into all kinds of meds and stuff again for pain relief because I feel strongly that I just need to deal with the surgery that I need, and that will help my neck and back and stuff. So it's wow. It's definitely late. So Jane, sorry to keep you up. And this has been really great, you guys. I really enjoy our times together. It's always a fun chat. Be careful with those opiates and fentanyls and all that kind of jazz out there, folks, because too much of a downer will just shut down your heart and you just won't breathe anymore. So, and there's no reversing that or trying a different med from that, is there? So I love all of you guys. And, I hope you guys have a really safe, happy weekend. It's TGIS. Thank God it's Sherry. I mean, it's Saturday. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening, and we'll see you again Tuesday. Like I said, I think we'll try an even later time and see how many more folks we can have join our little soiree combo. So Have a great night, folks, and we'll see you again next time for another true story with your host, me, Sherry Wiens. Bye, folks.